Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to the shop. This is just a quick update video, let you know what's been happening. I've been sanding, and as you know from my previous video, that's pretty well all I've been doing. 320 everywhere. I found some imperfections, and you're going to find imperfections. The red glazing putty does a great job. You put that into the imperfection, you sand that back with the block and flatten it out, but you have to make sure you come back then and hit it with the primer filler again. The reason is you don't want to leave that red on your paint, because if you try to put your base over that, you'll see it, you will. And then you'll know to look for it, which means you'll find it even easier. So basically I've fixed everything with the glazing putty, and then I resprayed it with the primer, and then I'll come back one last time, and hopefully that will now take care of everything. But that will give me a consistent gray coat everywhere, and hopefully that means I will have a consistent color of the Acapulco blue everywhere, and that's the key. Now, one of the other things I found, the inside of the doors are textured, right? This is a fake leather texture that came right from the factory. You can't sand this because you've got all of the valleys are full of paint, you've got the tops are full of paint, and you come along with sandpaper, you're going to knock the tops off, and the valleys are going to still have paint in them, and what ends up happening, you're actually going to lose your texture. Steel wool seems to be doing a fantastic job. I'm able to go in circles, get into that texture. The steel wool is cutting the primer, so it's flattening it and preparing it for paint, but at the same time, it's getting into all the nooks and crannies, which means I've got a great texture even after sanding. So that's been working well as well. Now, the other thing is as you get tired of sanding, make sure you go do something else, right? Because you can't just sand all the time, you will go nuts. So in my case, I've been working on the air conditioning, getting the compressors in, the condensers in, the radiator, and of course, all the plumbing. So, things to do to keep me occupied other than sanding. But once the sanding's complete, I hope I at that time can now start getting this garage prepped. We're gonna take all of the junk out of here, we're gonna wash the floors down, and we're gonna build our paint booth. Now, the problem with painting a car is you can't just paint everything in one day. I'm going to probably have to do like 6 or 7 different sets of painting, right? There's all the little accessory bits for the car that probably will be painted separately. And I know you can paint, maybe I can paint the underneath of the trunk and the underneath of the hood at one time. But I don't want to mix up too much paint and then try to paint too much at once. Because if I do that, you can screw up, the paint can start to harden up, it can flash off. I don't know what could possibly happen, but I know Murphy, and if Murphy's around, there's always a problem. So, small batches, I'm going to be painting things consistently. Hopefully, only time I'm going to be painting the whole car is obviously once everything else has been painted, all the jambs are done, all the interiors of the doors are done. When I'm actually laying the car paint, that is, that'll be where you're going to do that one, you're going to paint the car, it's called. But with the integrated stripe on the car, that's going to add some challenges. And that's why, as you know earlier, I had drilled my hinges, right? I have alignment tools now that allow me to put these doors on and off of the car within a few minutes. And that's important because the painted stripe is unforgiving. The doors have got to consistently go back each and every time as they're going on, and I'm painting the white, and as they're coming off and going back on, that stripe is going to be embedded in the paint, so that door better be back where it belongs. So anyways, these are the things I'm working on. Just a quick video. Next time you see me, hopefully I'm building a paint booth, and that'll be the fun part. So we can start painting. I'll see you then.